It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, Steph. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Gary. How are you? We're both joining from our houses today.
We're what?
We're joining from our houses today.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting closer and closer to a North American vacation, I should say, U.S. vacation, which is celebrating July 4th. And so we get one day off, a day off early, right?
Yep.
Are you going anywhere? Or are you staying around here?
I'm staying around here. My cousin is having a pool party, so I'm going to go to the pool. And
I was going to go to Orlando, but there's a big storm coming in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Okay.
There's a big tropical depression, so may not be worth going down there for that, you know?
No, not if it's going to be hot and bad weather. Like, you got to pick one.
By the way, I saw F1 in IMAX a couple of days ago. It is incredible.
Yes. Okay, so it's good.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%.
Okay.
You know, it's all about Brad Pitt. However, he does a really good job kind of playing, not taking himself too serious, right? And but also he's this is more like the Brad Pitt movies I like, right? Where he's sort of like a kind of a cool guy, but also humble.
Like Ocean's movies.
Yeah, not taking himself too serious, not trying to change the world, not trying to save the world, just sort of like a fun movie.
Like
and in IMAX, it's really good. Yeah, because they shot some of the racing scenes in IMAX. I mean, they didn't shoot much of the movie in IMAX. It's just that camera's too loud, right? I mean, an IMAX camera is very loud. So therefore, I think the first movie that comes out in history that will be shot completely on IMAX is The Odyssey, which is the
new Christopher Nolan
movie. And that he talked about how he went into IMAX and complained to them about how loud the cameras were, and they had to figure out a way to remote some of the components to make it work, because to redub all the audio is super expensive, and it also, you can kind of tell when they do that sometimes. So, but yeah, I highly recommend the movie. It's really good. There's already rumors of a sequel with him and Tom Cruise together, sort of combination Days of Thunder F1. But I'll tell you one thing about this movie. I think it's very smartly done. I don't know if you know all the ins and outs of it, but I mean, Brad Pitt wanted to make this movie, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't? It's going to be a blockbuster. But Apple was the production company on it, right? They're the studio. Well, they have the rights for F1, exclusive rights in North America for broadcasting Formula One events on television. So it's very smart sort of integrated marketing, because I'll tell you, there will never be a more popular era for Formula One racing in the United States, possibly globally, than this year, because that movie really made you want to watch the races, and because you understand it a lot more and you understand the technology behind it. There's an amazing amount of tech that's really driving those cars, right?
I have like a Canadian friend who's like super into F1, so I don't know a ton of it, but I know that like the politics of it is really interesting, and the technology of the cars, and like how do they even get into the cars is
so claustrophobic. Like, I was watching going, I'd be claustrophobic. But there's a lot of our technology in this movie. For those of you who are out there and you want to see our technology being used, there's a tremendous amount. They show a command center with projection technology. They show video walls, and they show the behind the scenes of how they're driving the content. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of our technology in this movie. They're command and control centers, not network operation centers, mobile command centers. It's really, large staging of events, live events. There's a lot of our technology in this movie. So I was really happy to see that. So how you doing on your 100 movie goal for the year?
I just met 50.
Oh, really? What was your latest?
28 days later, because I'm pre-watching all like 28 days and 28 weeks, because I'm going to go see 28 years later with a couple of friends.
The only reason why I want to see 28 years, you know why, probably, right?
Because my husband's in it.
Future husband. No, because
Aaron
it was
Taylor
shot.
Johnson.
It's the first movie shot totally on iPhone. They didn't use any. They didn't use
Oh,
any special lenses, and they shot the thing totally on an iPhone using regular iPhones, as opposed to using like $10,000 lenses on an iPhone. So it's pretty cool that it shot totally on iPhone, and it might be worth just seeing how they did it. Now they did.
yeah.
There's some scenes where they set up like 30 iPhones together to do this sort of like thing around them, but yeah, they set up regular iPhones and shot the thing on iPhone,
Which makes a lot of sense because the first movie is done really found footage style 28 Days Later, and it was filmed entirely on Canon XL1s.
which is an off-the-shelf camera. I mean,
yeah,
so
they look, and like it's like in 480, so it's really hard to watch it on an HD TV. It starts raining and it looks like the whole camera's like shaking.
This will look a little bit better.
Someone said that it looked like it was filmed on somebody's like LG fridge.
Well, I want you to tell me how it is, because I've heard mixed reviews of the quality of the movie plot.
I think that's fair. I felt like even the first one was a little clunky. So, but the first one did a lot for like reinvigorating the zombie genre. It was the blueprint for Walking Dead. So, I mean, I think with any of these movies where there's like a ton of installments, which this only is 3, but I think that they just start to get a little clunky plot wise. But I'm still gonna have fun. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in it, and that's my husband. So
he just
I'm looking
didn't know
forward to seeing my man.
So which movie are you looking more forward to, Superman or the new Jurassic Park?
I don't know. Kind of neither.
I'm looking forward to both of those. You don't like the traditional movies, do you?
No. Okay. So like Superman, it's like how many times are we gonna do this? It's kind of like but Batman actually was so good.
Yeah.
The most recent Batman. I was so impressed. I thought
Which one do you like better, the Christopher Nolan Batman or the new Batman?
The new Batman.
Okay, you like Batman.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson. Come on, Gary. I'm a Twilight girl.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, there's a part 2 coming out to that.
And I'm so excited. I think it's going to be good. Like they just did a really good job, like kind of leaning into his like trauma and how that's informed him becoming a superhero, which I thought was cool. So you know what? I'll give Superman a shot. I think I like, what's the name? David Cornsweet, who's Superman. I like him. I think he's a good actor. So we'll see. And I'll watch every Jurassic Park movie, even though they kind of are all the same at this point.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's what makes them good, right?
It makes them fun. And it has the actor in it that I really like. He was in Wicked, and he was also in Bridgerton, but I don't think you watched that.
I haven't watched either one of those. So,
Anthony,
I don't know.
I don't know.
While you're thinking of that, let's talk about the 2025 Best of InfoComm Awards. I think we have a graphic to put up. We announced those awards last week during replay, and we gave the Best of Show to Nanolumen's Fine Arts, which is a really amazing matte display, non-reflective, anti-reflective coating display that makes artwork look really good. Was happy with that. We got a lot of good feedback on NetSpeak, Lena, the Logitech Spot, the Joan 13 Pro. We got a lot of good feedback. I've seen some posts on showing people what it looked like to enter the Sharp booth.
Yes.
We got some feedback on people that actually went into the escape room from DSC, and of course your favorite Seiko Art Morph got a lot of
good like feedback on our picks this year, which is good to hear, because I really think that we both tried to pick things that were representative of what people were talking about, and for good reason.
Not just companies that advertise with us or paid to have videos made and stuff like that, which a lot of the other companies do. So I think if you haven't had a chance to look at those awards, go to ravepubs.com. It's still trending on our website. Go to the trending section. You should definitely take a look at that, because we gave out around 70 awards or so, and they are the best. We think they're really the best of InfoComm, and we literally watch all these videos and make sure that we're covering even some of the little small products out that a lot of people wouldn't have had a chance to go by and see, like the GNS Acoustics fabric wall. right? I mean, I think that's a company that a lot of people don't know who they are, or what they do, or why, wouldn't know about them if we wouldn't have picked them,
Absolutely. I think that we did a good job of like covering the big guys and some people that are new in the space, or a couple of startups and a few lesser known companies, which I think both are really important. So
agreed. So yeah, check those out. And of course, some big news came out today. So they kind of surprised everybody. Hall Technologies buying Atlona's assets, and also appointing Victor Bao as VP of Pro AV sales. So, a number of people in the industry have been posting about this on LinkedIn, saying that Hall basically bailed out Atlona. But Atlona's got a pretty strong brand, right? I mean, I think their brand is probably even stronger brand wise than Hall. So I think this really does help Hall Technologies and Hall Research quite a bit. So I think this will be interesting. There is some consolidation that's going to happen in the glue company segment of our market. And I think this is just reflective of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you think this was like telling about what's going on in the market right now. We're seeing a lot of acquisitions, and like, I know I haven't been in the market in like Pro AV as long as you have, but I feel like even in the time that I've been here, it's been really concentrated these past 6 months, even a year.
I think some of it is I think there's 3 parts to it. Okay.
Right.
Part 1 would be people are getting older and they want to sell their companies. And so they're looking for the opportunity. Now, Atlona already been sold to Panduit. So that's not this in this case, but that's one thing that's happened a lot.
Okay.
Second is with the economy being sort of on a hold right now, sort of like it's not down, it's just sort of like frozen in time. I think a lot of companies start getting nervous about cash flow, but also getting nervous about sort of the direction the industry is going to go and where they can partner with companies that make sense for them to partner. And then third of it, the other third, or the other, I guess the third point would be it's the natural progression of a growth of an industry. When you have an industry that matures, you're going to go from 900 companies running the industry to 20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is part of the growth of the industry, the maturity of the industry. Okay. And I think you're going to continue to see more acquisitions, both on the manufacturer side and on the integrator side. And I think it'll only pick up steam over the course of the next 2 or 3 years. I definitely think we're going to see more rather than less.
So you don't think it's something that's like that anyone should be necessarily worried about, that it's just kind of like going through the phase of consolidation before it goes through another phase of growth?
I mean, it depends on who you are, whether you should be worried about it. If you're an integrator, no. I mean, because it's always a moving target as to what technology and products and solutions to put in. So you have to kind of pay attention to the industry. If you're working for a manufacturer or an integrator that is being acquired, of course, you're just naturally going to be nervous about it. The best, usually a good indicator is when they're going to keep the company the same and keep the brand the same. And of course, some brands aren't as strong as others, so it makes sense for them to sort of merge them together. But I think you have to look at each one individually, and you have to look at each situation individually. Now, for example, if I were working in accounting at Atlona right now, I'd be a little nervous because that's a place they're going to probably consolidate. But marketing wise, I wouldn't say I'd be nervous. Sales wise, I wouldn't say I'd be nervous. I think that it presents an opportunity for people to stand out.
Okay. I think that's a good point. And this is why I ask you these kind of things, because you've been around a couple more years than I have. So
yeah, I mean, you never know, but I mean, that's this is not like 2008 where a bunch of companies were going to go out of business and were saved by other companies buying them. Certainly we don't have a situation like that in 2008 or 2009. I think that the industry sort of being on hold is frustrating for everybody because we're not in a down economy. The stock market is up, gas prices are not through the roof. Inflation has started to go down, but what the problem is that everyone stopped buying at the same time. Higher education stopped buying because it was summertime, but also because of sort of what's going on in the government. You have the government stopped buying because of, the freeze on hiring and such. And then you have the trickle down effect of all of that, right? So this all sort of perfect storm kind of situation, but I think it'll move over quickly.
Okay, then I will be hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, I think be curious and see how things go. I mean, I think that our industry is in a really good position. I mean, we're in a segment of technology that is growing, right? I mean, it's going to continue to grow. It's not going to shrink.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, before we move on, our sponsor and partner, Crestron, we want to show you a video a little bit about the Crestron mission, and Gary and I will be right back.
Our mission at Crestron is simple. Enable exceptional customer experiences through technology.
Just simply describing controls and audio-video technology really doesn't help people grasp the full extent of what we do.
We take all the different pieces of hardware that you have in your business or your house, and we bring all of that together into one solution.
Whether that's in your home, making it easier to just live through simple automation, or in businesses empowering employees to do more.
Crestron makes the best technology to enable people to share information and entertainment, to connect and collaborate, whether they're in person or remote, and to make any space super simple and easy to use.
Systems and solutions that people can rely on. That's our advantage. That's our difference. That's what it means to be true blue.
Speaking of Crestron, they've upgraded the One Beyond cameras with a 2.0 firmware. The most interesting thing here is it adds automatic multi-camera switching, right? So you get the ability to have the cameras auto switch in a particular application, smart tracking, and of course the integration into the NVX ecosystem. So that story's on our website now at rAVepubs.com. So check it out.
Yep. Another big, pretty big story from the past week is the AVer TR535 and 535N are now Zoom certified. I like to cover whenever any company gets their product Zoom or Teams certified, because you know that they went through so much to get them certified. It's a ton of red tape. You have to send your products to a lab, and they have to test it and basically try to stress test it with either Zoom or Teams's technology. So once it gets that certification, that's a pretty big deal. So that full story is on rAVe Pubs, and that has a little bit more about each camera and a little bit about the differences.
Yeah, and congratulations to them on that. Smart was at InfoComm and launched the GX Plus. I don't know if you had a chance to go to Smart's booth.
I didn't go to Smart's booth. Did you?
I did. I had a chance to go by Smart. Well, they had a little suite, and they have the GX Plus. By the way, the picture on this story that we have is doing some odd things with the edges of it, so we might want to check that out. But
I'll fix
but
it.
this is an entry level interactive board. Now, the reason why this is important is because their heritage is in education, and this thing is specifically designed for Android's EDLA licensed, in this particular case, Android 14 operating system, which is in K through 12, the system that is used for all the devices that kids use in the classrooms, but also the teachers use. So this literally acts like a Chromebook in a way, right? Hanging on the wall. So it's an entry-level product. It's 4K resolution, and it can be used as a standalone display or an interactive display. And they have a couple different sizes, but 75-inch will probably be the most popular size.
Nice. In other news, Absen has joined the PSNI Global Alliance. Absen is going to be a preferred vendor partner for them now. So basically what this means, Absen is going to work with more than 120 PSNI certified solution providers across 65 plus countries, which basically like brings their product to a greater community of integrators and end users.
Yeah, smart move on their behalf. And by the way, another one of our partners is Shure, and they launched the Telemix Room kits prior to InfoComm. Or actually, it was between ISE and InfoComm. Yep. We have a video on that because now they're Microsoft Teams certified.
What if you could have an effortless Microsoft Teams Room solution with Shure's best-in-class audio, auto-configured for you with intelligent video? Now you can with Telemix Room Kits from Shure. Ready to deploy, easy to use. For richer collaboration, powered by high-performance audio and enterprise-level security and management for small to large meeting spaces. Now let's get your whole team together.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, Steph, I was invited to see a preview of Extron's new column array speakers.
Yes, I remember this.
And the idea behind these speakers is not, all column arrays are supposed to basically fill a room with sound and make it all program based. So if you have video playing in the front of the room, instead of doing distributed audio coming from above, so the video's there and the audio's here, it's kind of weird. The audio follows the video, right? Where you're looking at where it comes from. Most column array speakers we have obviously different kind of versions of these, but for a permanent install, the pickup pattern is like this.
Yeah.
Right. In this case, the top and the bottom speakers push down the pickup pattern so that you don't lose any of the audio from the front of the room to the back of the room. Well, now they have some larger sizes. They have some different sizes, I should say. Extron came out with the CA83T and 43T, which are 30-inch and 17-inch. One has 8 drivers and one has 4 drivers. So it gives you more size options than what you had before, one bigger, one smaller. And then you also have an interesting, these are more for smaller room stuff, basically. So I think these are going to do really well. And, both of these are, a little bit smaller than what they had before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to do really well. And now they have black and white as well.
Very cool. Okay. In other news, iPro Americas and Novotrax have partnered, and what they're basically doing is enhancing school safety for K through 12 with this AI and kind of mass notification integration. So basically what this is it combines what iPro does, which is AI-powered video surveillance, with Novotrax. They have EduTrax, which is a platform. And basically what this does is it's trying to eliminate that gap between video security and emergency communications. So supposed to address the dangerous delay of the time that's lost when first responders and school officials have to access all these systems to view a live video feed or locate an incident during an emergency. It's supposed to get rid of that time gap so that they can address it much quicker. So very interesting. I would love to get a demo of this and see how it works, but it sounds really cool.
In sort of government news, Alphalite, which is based out of Spain, they're Spanish-based LED company, has TA compliance now and NATO compliance products. So obviously they kind of made their name at ISE because ISE is based in Spain, but also because they were one of the first companies to make LED specifically for virtual production. So this allows them to, be sold into government, mission critical applications. So congratulations to them. And don't forget about our esports show. Yep. When's the next show? Is that Thursday?
So they're Thursdays at noon.
Okay. But it's not every Thursday, right? It's
every other Thursday.
I forget how often it is. I think it's something like that. Or is it? I guess we got to get educated on that. I mean, I just watch it and I don't really pay attention. But anyway, we'll figure that out while we watch this clip, because we have a clip from our esports show. Bubba Geddert actually hosts the show. He's an esports expert, actually teaches at the Esports University in the UK. That's what he's on a what would be the word? Not a sabbatical, but he's on an assignment to teach at the only esports university academy in the country. In the world, actually, but it's in the UK. So check out this. This is
clip.
This is a 1 minute clip.
Yeah.
guess we could have picked a better clip of him talking about esports.
I don't think he talked much in this most recent episode. This most recent episode was like he picked his like top things from
For
InfoComm
esports.
and like and like wanted to talk about like why these products were important potentially to the esports community. So that was all like very product based, which is cool. But in some of them he talks and some of them he interviews people, but in other ones like this one, it's like a product wrap up. But yeah, I think
And they do a lot of case studies too.
Yes, and a lot of case studies. So it is broadcasted at noon Eastern, second and fourth Thursday of every month.
There you go. We should know that off the top of our head. That is ingrained now. Sorry about that, Bubba. And then we want to make sure you know that all of our InfoComm coverage is wrapped up in one place, just one place, rAVepubs.com/InfoComm. You can see every video we shoot at InfoComm, which is over 1,700, all the news stories, all the photos we took on the show floor, all the podcasts and video casts we recorded, in addition to the rAVe TV episodes that we did. So all of that is wrapped up in one place at rAVepubs.com/InfoComm. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. This show comes on every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We will restream this at noon for those of you who missed any of it that are on the socials. Steph, I enjoyed doing this. Thanks.
Yeah, same. It was good seeing you, Gary. And next week we'll reconvene and I'll tell you if I liked 28 years later.
Please.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Have a good day.
It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.